What up, my guys? What up, my guy? My guy over there, Friday's like, man, what y'all doing, man? This how we open up the show, man. Hey, the people feel
It's a
it. The people
classic
feel
song
it.
though. It's a classic. Classic.
Hey, we appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. The NBA Talk with Jay, man, and Shark. Y'all know how to do it. We got my guy, knows a guy with us today, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe. We're trying to get some cash, man. It's NBA. It's us against everyone against the bookies, man. So we're all trying to cash, trying to put some money in people's pockets, man. What's up with you, my guy? First time on the channel in a while. Everything cool with you?
Yeah, bro. As you know, we popped off a show, another NBA betting show. Just working. The NBA grind is real. We appreciate you having me on, and just want to continue collaborating, and continue winning. Yesterday wasn't the best day, but the NBA grind right now is real, and it's positive times ahead. So let's keep it going.
What's up with you, Shark? Everything cool with you? You got the hat on. You ready to go?
Yes, I am. Thirsty Thursday, November 4th, 2021, as we continue the momentum coming into the season. Of course, my guy just mentioned a tough day for him yesterday. NBA Wednesday historically is incredibly difficult. This is going back 10, 12 years when I really started to look at this in detail. Wednesdays have always been really tough. I did profit yesterday, but you guys saw how sharp these lines were yesterday. A lot of tight outcomes and a lot of really tough spots. That's why our show was 50 minutes yesterday as Jay and I went back and forth across all the numbers and narratives. Of course, today we only got 5 games. We got a doubleheader in prime time, I believe, on NBA TV. 2 official plays. J Money is money. Lead the way, and let's dominate this card.
Yes, sir, man. Definitely won't be 50 minutes today, my guys. But hey, we had a lot of people watching yesterday. Only over 550 people watching. So I think the longer the show we have, more people get a chance to tune in live. But regardless, let's get to it today, my guys. First game up. Let's go to we're gonna go to the streets of Detroit, my guys. That's the earliest game. We got this 76ers 4 straight games at the house. Now they had on the road here, third game in 4 nights, road back to back, all this. So we interested to see if Joel Embiid plays tonight. We do know Andre Drummond goes back to his stomping ground to Detroit. Like I say, man, hey, well, maybe the Sixers been too hot. Maybe the Pistons, it's time for them to get a win. They finally got their number 1 draft pick, Cade Cunningham, in here tonight. I'll tell you right now, I like the Pistons. I like the Pistons, guy. I think they're gonna win this game. Obviously, I mean they're not the best team in the league, but this is some of the spots that you want to take them in, and it's a spot that I want to fade the Sixers in. Me personally, I don't think Embiid will play. So take that for what it's worth. Even if he does, though, I think the Pistons do come to play here. One of their best games, only 1-6 on the season. They're not going to the playoffs, anything. These are Super Bowl type games. And they just lost to the 76ers. Will gave them all they can handle in a 110-102 loss in Philly. I know they kind of backdoored it there, but if they hung in this one, I think they catching the 76ers in the right spot here. My guy, any notes on this one?
Oh well, I think the line movement it's telling that Embiid might not play, or he might end up being listed on the injury report in some form. We know his history, especially against matchups more inferior opponents like the Pistons. We saw the other day with the Blazers that the Sixers, for all we know, they feel like they can probably beat the Pistons without Embiid. I don't feel like that. When you look at the reports coming out of Detroit the other night, this is a type of game where they're going to throw all of their energy at this spot. That city is really disappointed with how they've been performing. They didn't really have the highest expectations in terms of outright wins for the season, but they've been getting blown out at home. They just lost against a Bucks team that was missing their entire championship core besides Giannis, and I do think that the Pistons will put up a more spirited effort tonight. I was looking towards maybe the team total in this one. The Pistons have showed an inability to score. If they had a clean practice, if they come out with more effort, maybe they'll show a better offensive performance tonight.
That's a good point, Shark. What you think about this one, my guy?
Well, on a suddenly not so casual Thirsty Thursday, we go to the home locker room here in Detroit. Official play +6. I booked this about 45 minutes ago. I think it's moving to 5. Get that while it's hot. This is going to be a sharp figure. I cross-reference you back to the opener against Chicago. I will mention it again. Somebody said, how many times is Shark going to mention this? Trust me, no regret. It's actually just a point. As we discuss games, we do reference prior games, and we do bet games every day. Believe it or not. So,
I saw that in the chat too, Shark.
It's just in conversation. It's like everybody wants us to either recap or not, and then this is that left, right, and center. I'm like, guys, we're just flowing in the streets, baby. Anyway, So anyway, we go to Detroit here. We find the Sixers in the ultimate fade spot. 3rd and 4, home road back-to-back, 5th and 8, and they come in here off 3 highly representative efforts at home. An absolute blowout win against the Hawks, a cover against the Blazers, and a convincing win last night against the Chicago Bulls. So historically in NBA history, this is your letdown spot. Then you zoom further into the matchup, you do get a revenge game here for Detroit, who did lose recently in Philly. This is also a double revenge game. Detroit has lost the last 2 games to the Sixers, both in Philadelphia, dating back to last year. However, go back to what happened last year when Philly traveled to Detroit. Detroit was 2-0 ATS. A 114-110 loss on a plus 9.5. Philly was laying 9.5 points, and then an outright win in the second matchup in Detroit. Not coincidentally, that first game was a home road back-to-back for Philly and a 3rd and 4. Go back to early last season. They had 2 of these. They had one at Cleveland on the back end and one at Detroit on the back end, both bottom feeders in the Central, and they did not cover either of them. This line is all over it, minus 9.5. The last game was minus 11. This is at 6.5, 5. It's short, double revenge. It's a trap spot. Detroit shows up tonight. I think Jay's right. They might win this game outright, but I think they absolutely cover the game.
Yep, I like the Pistons win this game. I'm with you, Shard. Took it at +6. I sprinkled on that +200 on the money line as well. If they're going to cover that 6, keep it close, they're going to win the game. The way I'm looking at this is how you want to catch the NBA sometimes, guys. You have the much better team, but they're in a spot where they won't necessarily be playing their best game, or they definitely don't have the rest advantage as well. So, I mean, don't get it twisted. This is the first, obviously, guys, this is the Pistons, one of the worst teams in the league. Anything can happen. What we're saying is this not necessarily an auto take spot for the 76ers, guys. They've won 4 straight, covered 3 straight. They are hot. Obviously, they're missing some players. This is an uninspiring spot for the 76ers. Coming off 4 straight games at the house, first game on the road. It's a back-to-back. Also, you have 3 bigger matchups in the Eastern Conference on the deck in the Chicago Bulls again, the Knicks, and then the Bucks. We see this as a look-ahead game. Simply put, I don't think we'll get the 76ers' best game. This is the game where I think them missing a couple of players will jump up to them. And like I say, why would Embiid play here today against the Detroit Pistons? They're not going anywhere. You know, Embiid even last night was a little like heavy-winded. You see what I'm saying? So I like the Pistons here. I took them +6. I'll go official +5. I sprinkled on the money line as well, +200. I fully believe Pistons win this game, my guys. I even bust out the socks for them. But hey, it is what it is. And my guy Friday says he likes the Pistons team total over as well. If they hadn't been scoring and the Sixers not on their best game tonight, not best defensively, the Pistons will get over that team total. So we don't. Hey, if you guys don't like it,
I want to add one thing to what you said. The timing of the information with Embiid. It could be a scenario where they wait until later to tell you that he doesn't play, if he doesn't play. I've noticed that with the timing of when they release the information is really key. You see the other day against the Blazers, they told you Embiid was going to be out of the game early in the day, which gave many people time to load up dollars on the Blazers side. I think it could be the exact opposite today. Maybe they'll wait right before game time or closer to game time.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I hope they do it as well. You know how the Sixers, they play with people all day long. Be questionable pretty much all day. It is what it is, guys. I always say we like an ugly team today. We're taking the ugly duckling. You don't have to take it. We're here letting you know what we like, how we're looking at the game, letting you know how we look at these spots, NBA spots. Obviously, they don't always cash, but I'd like to be on these spots more likely than not, my guys. No one will cash 100%. We're not telling anyone you have to take this bet. If you like the Sixers, good luck to you, my guys. Let's go to the next game.
Jay, just staying on topic here. We have a lot of time. There's not a lot of games.
Yeah.
Yesterday on record, I said Sixers would beat the Bulls, and then they would tank here. And then we said we'd also take the Bulls the next game in the revenge game at home. And I want to give people a snapshot to this as to how we look at it. And I got to give you props, Jay, a little bit. Last year, going back, actually further than last year, about 2 years ago when you and I started talking to DM a little bit, I had some bad behavioral practices in what I did. I didn't like to look ahead too much to the schedule because I was so focused on being present in my mind, which is more of a deep psychological thing that I work on for myself, to not be left, right, center, and always stay in the moment. But looking at the schedule in the future, 1 week, 2 weeks in advance, and really scaling it as much as you would look in the past is incredibly, incredibly intelligent stuff. Jay put me onto that. And again, we're really going through the schedule in one-offs as they correlate to the previous games and the future games. And I do see a couple guys in the chat. Rah Murray, I'll shout you out. You're the biggest troll we've had in weeks. I respect you. However, We're not throwing blanket blind stats here. The last 10 games, the Pistons lost by double digits dating back to the early last season. We're going game by game and trying to understand where the psychological environments are for both teams. So trust us, we do look at stats. We know the blanket stats. We go to deeper layered stats game to game. You guys were saying in the chat, I don't look at numbers. I look at your numbers. Those are flat data points. Then I go game by game as to what happens in those games. Because again, 2-7, there were 2 wins. Why were there wins and where were there wins? We go to the numbers, then we go to the layered numbers, and we stay focused. Just want to make that point. J Money, continue, and let's dominate.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to the streets of Atlanta here, my guys. We're going to the streets of Atlanta. We got the Jazz here. They were on the road for 3 straight games, come to the house for a one-off, which we call correctly the Sacramento Kings. And then now they come back. Now they head back on the road. 3 more tough games on the East, in my opinion. Guys, Rudy Gobert is not out. They mixed up the injury report with Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay is out with the heel. It's not Rudy Gobert, so he's not on the injury report. Nothing is wrong with Rudy Gobert. I just wanted to let you know there was a lot of mix-up with that this morning. I even saw people giving out officially saying they like the Hawks because Rudy Gobert is out. We like the Hawks, but it's not because of that. Donovan Mitchell is questionable. Royce O'Neal as well. However, this is not necessarily the best spot for the Hawks, but this is when you want to take them at the house. This is when they turn up. They're a lot different on the road. They held with the Nets there in the first half before getting smacked up in the second half. Now you got the bounce back spot. And I think this is somewhat of a phase spot for the Jazz as well, Friday. What do you think about this one?
I think when it comes to energy-wise, the Hawks match up well with the Jazz. Style of play, schematically, a lot of the players that they have. Trae Young, he's a bit miniature on the perimeter. That's the only really deficiency the Hawks have in this matchup. You go back to the game last night. The Hawks were in the game against the Nets. The rule change is actually affecting them. They're not getting to the free throw line at nearly the same rate or clip as last season. But athletically, physically, they match up with this Jazz team. But this Jazz team's been printing money. When I zoom into the matchup between Clint Capella and Rudy Gobert, and thanks for the clarification as well on Rudy Gobert, because I was also confused about his status for today. But I was only because of you already know why. But I like the under in this game. I like the under 220.5. I think when you look at the Hawks' reduced free throw output and the way that they lean on the 3-point shot, this Jazz team is defending the 3-point line at a high clip. I think that the Hawks are going to compete in this game, but I'm going to take the under 220.5.
Got you. It's not a bad play as well. And we know the Jazz can play some really good defense. I must say, Shark, the Hawks match up really well with the Jazz. They have the better bench, in my opinion, as well. And not Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, even if he does play, will be a little hobble. Possibly they have the Heat on deck in the national TV game on Saturday, prime time. Could this possibly be a little look-ahead spot? Could they not necessarily be taking the Hawks as serious? Short line here as well, Shark. What you thinking on this one?
Yeah, when I first went into it, the first thing that stood out to me was the line. Last year, the Jazz did blow out the Hawks twice, both by double digits and both on pretty significant lines. I think 11.5 and a 9.5. So, of course, 11.5, 9.5, and then 1.5. They're telling you an incredible story. And I said to myself, why? And I said, I think that Atlanta's terrible in the 3rd and 4 back-to-back scenarios. Then I said, maybe they're not. So I went back and I looked at last year. Since the All-Star break last year, where they were 15-1, 15-20 straight up, and they went on a really nice run to finish the season 10 games over 500. They've had 8 scenarios like this. The 3rd and 4 spots on the road, with the final leg being on the road, they are 1-3 ATS. They're 0-4 ATS. However, coming home in this spot, they're 3-1 ATS. Which is really interesting because in the most fatigued spot in the sport, if a team is 75% against the spread, it means something's going on. And they did tank last night to Brooklyn, and a really specific corollary I like here. Last year, they did lose at Philly in the front end of this scenario, and they came home the following night and they beat up on the Bulls. They have flipped this script. They have flipped this energy in their minds that they can't play on a 3rd and 4 back-to-back final leg. And I think you look at this, obviously double revenge game, line scaling against. Again, 3-1 in this spot, last 4. Enough for me. I think Atlanta wins the game going away here.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I like the Hawks here. I hadn't bet this one yet. Just waiting for a little bit more info. It's crazy because I'm looking here on RotoWire. I don't know. I'm looking at the beat writers, and they're saying that Gobert is not out. And I'm looking on RotoWire, they got him out, heel injury recovery, but that's Rudy Gay's injury though. Like I really do think that because like both of them are Rudy G. You see what I'm saying? That's Rudy Gay that had the heel injury. Gobert didn't even have. I really think there's a mix up here, guys. You talk about injury report manipulation, man. That makes me feel
And
even
that's
more weird
damaging,
about
though.
this
That's
game.
damaging because there are many people that get fooled easily by seeing that because it really is easy to confuse those two players
Right.
and the way that their names are spelled and everything. It's like too much of a
That's
coincidence.
crazy.
So it's like that oversight. Think of the amount of millions of dollars, the millions of dollars that are influenced when people see that. It's crazy.
Yeah, nah, it's some crazy
Probably
shit. I don't
affecting
think
the total and everything.
yeah, I don't think that he's out, guys. Regardless, Gobert in there. Mitchell and O'Neal are not 100%. One of those guys could sit, and it's simple. O'Neal has not been too good, but obviously Donovan Mitchell a little bit hobbled. We've seen how that he's the best player on the team, most highest usage player on the team. You see what I'm saying? So if he's out or even a little bit banged up, we see what happens when Donovan Mitchell isn't 100%. Still could be, he still can be effective, but not 100%. He can't really lead the team like that. The Hawks have some damn good defenders out there, I must say. So you're in a back-to-back spot. Hawks the only way I could look here, my guys.
Yeah, Jay, just one
ahead.
further point. If you really go through the Jazz schedule, they are 6-1 in the campaign, only lost at the Bulls. I think that's a reasonable corollary point. At that point, they were coming off a blowout win against the Rockets. They went in there on the front end of an Eastern back-to-back scenario and did lose to the Bulls convincingly. Also, key point on that was a double revenge game for the Bulls. They did hammer the Bulls last year twice, and the line was plummeting down from double-digit lines last year to 3.5. So it's a really interesting corollary there with the Bulls. And also, if you just go through their games, they covered against the Thunder, they backdoored the Kings, they backdoored the Nuggets, they blew out the Rockets, they didn't cover against the Bulls, they beat the Bucks, who did not have their full squad, and they did not cover against the Kings. That, for me, is not a representative sample of a team that's going to be covering games going forward.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. My guy said Rudy's still in the league. That's some funny shit, man. I tried to let some of the people, like, just real quick, and not to be negative, I try to let some of these people come back or whatever because we need the positive and the negative. It's going to push both. Hey, if you want to be negative, tell people, hey, come fade these guys. Come on. But guys saying other stuff, I got to get them back out of here. Sorry, guys. I tried to be nice, but people won't allow me to. We're going to the streets of Miami, man.
I just want to say one thing, too, Jay. I just looked it up. People on Twitter are also saying, like, right now that the Rudy Gay distinction is actually confusing people. Rudy Gay is out, Rudy Gobert is in, and people are actually betting on the Hawks because of that misinformation.
Oh, because people won't look at Rudy G versus G. They see, like, guy, we got a UConn.
You know what it is?
I've never seen that.
It's the fluky ass ESPN injury report. That's what everyone's looking at. I can't believe RotoWire has up because they are some official guys. I'm really tripping me. It's really tripping me out this morning because I've never seen something like this. Literally, everyone's saying he's out, and he never got injured. Like literally, he never got injured. But it's a whole other conversation.
Major news.
Exactly, it definitely would have been major news. Just like he coughing on the mics and shit. All right, hold on, conversation. We're going to the streets of Miami, man. This line was at 8 yesterday. It was down to 6 and down to 7.5. Now down to 6. So the Celtics starting to get some love. We know they had a team meeting, team dinner, which they always do. Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Marcus Smart having to get on the same page. Don't really have a true point guard on the team. Maybe Schroeder, maybe. But it's a tough game, man. I must say, I love the Heat. This year, I think I'm higher on the Heat probably than anyone. This is a tricky spot. Because the Celtics. What you think about this one, Friday? It's a tough game.
It's a very tough game. It's one of those classic East regular season matchups, top tier matchup. The Celtics are not top tier yet, but I still have belief that they will be by the end of the season. The coaching change it was a bit destabilizing. There are a lot of question marks about their stars. This Heat team is really difficult with the way that they're constructed. I didn't think that they would put forth this level of effort at the beginning of the season. I thought I follow Kyle Lowry closely as a Raptor fan. I thought maybe they would ease him in and try to make sure that he's fresh and preserved by the postseason. Their game plan, their mode of attack seems to be to go for it fully for this season, regardless of age, regardless of all the other factors. This Heat team, they're for real. They're for real. Mm-hmm. And Kyle Lowry is having a crazy impact on the rest of that team. Even the numbers don't show. Just like the spacing on the floor, it's crazy to watch them. But as you look at the Celtics team, I think it can be a bit confusing. Last night, shout out to Shark as well. Sharp, astute analysis yesterday on the Celtics buy low spot. I was fully aligned with you as well, brother, on the other show. And just a great call, great spot. But the Celtics going forward, I do think that could be a turning point for them. That's why I'm hesitant to lay the points with the Heat tonight, because basketball-wise, with their net rating, they're supposed to come out here, suppress the Celtics, and blow these guys away. But I feel like with the line movement that I'm just going to try to learn a bit more about the Celtics, because yesterday could have been a turning point for them, and I just want to wait and see. I think that's a fair assessment.
I do think it'll turn around. It's just like it was against the Magic. You see what I'm saying? And they did struggle at first in the first half. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I thought they would come out and smack them from the get-go. They handled business. Went on I think like 17-0 run, 21-4 run in the third quarter to really pull away from them. I do have a funny feeling about this one. The Heat got exactly what they needed in their point guard, Shark. But at this, like, the Celtics could come in even more pissed off again tonight. Like, this is their set the bar game to really see where they are. I'm not betting against the Heat right now. I know their defense can clamp down anyone. Shark, what you think about in this game?
It's tough. I mean, Celtics are just very hard to figure out. I went back and I looked at what happened the last time they played third and fourth back-to-back road. They did win. Jay, you had it correctly there in overtime against Charlotte, 141-129. Just really unpredictable quarter to quarter with this group. You go back to last year, Boston did win in Miami, and Miami won twice in Boston. So home court hasn't really stood up much with these two teams the last two seasons. The line is strengthening up significantly for Miami here. Last year, it was shorter in all three matchups. So the line is all over Miami, but I went back to the Charlotte environment. Miami was equally lackluster against Charlotte last year before they came back off the Brooklyn win and beat them comfortably on a -7, 114-99. That was actually shortening up. So this line is not giving me any transparency as to what Miami's going to do here. Just as we always say, the number tells you one thing and the narrative tells you one thing. The number is on Miami to continue the bloodbath tour here, but the narratives are all over the Celtics to continue to be unpredictable and hard to figure out game to game, given these back-to-backs and what's going on here. It's really a tough game to cap for me.
Yeah, I could see the Celtics covering tonight. Just like you see it with the line was at 8, I was like, I don't know, that's kind of high for this Heat team. And then you see it start coming down. It's plummeted to 6. Then you see this shady ass motherfucker Scott Foster in this game. I don't know. Looks easy to take the Heat, man. And don't get it twisted. The easy plays have been cashing this year. They've been cashing. So I can tell you this. I'm not taking the Celtics, especially with their offensive woes going up against one of the better defensive teams in the league, even though they've looked like a lot better than they're supposed to so far. Like, same thing with the Bulls. We didn't think it was going to be this quick. But, like, these guys are balling. They're balling. And defensively, like I say, I think they're the best team in the league.
I would look for Bam and Kyle Lowry. That pick and roll is bread and butter. Yeah. Kyle Lowry spazzed against the Celtics over the years. Even in the games that they lost, with the Raptors lost, Kyle Lowry performs really well with that pick and roll against the Celtics. It's just something that I've noticed over the years. I would not be surprised if he has a great stat line tonight.
Yeah, and if Marcus Smart, if Smart doesn't show out here, I don't know what they're going to do, because their defense is too tough for the Heat to not have great point guard play for the Celtics. That's what scares me here. It's just strictly basketball thinking. But let's go to the next game here, man. Streets, we're going to the Valley here, down to the Valley in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's hot as a motherfucker. But the Rockets over here versus the Suns, man. They land 10.5. The Rockets 0-4 on the road. They played a couple good games. Well, one good game versus the Lakers there. Pretty much almost beat them. Not sure what's going on with the Suns right now. I'll be honest with you. They don't really look they don't look like the Suns to me right now, underperforming. They could smack the Rockets with these, though. Friday. I know this is your squad, the Suns. Any thoughts on this one?
My squad. Yeah, they might as well be now. They might as well be. Bro, I was very, very fortunate with the Suns the other day against the Pelicans. I chalked it up as a loss. But it's another dynamic of talent versus effort. The Suns didn't start playing basketball until 6 minutes left into the fourth quarter. They clamped down on defense, and you could visibly see, like, they were sweating, and they were looking at the scoreboard repeatedly, like they were aware that they were about to embarrass their fan base in that game. but I just something doesn't sit right with me in this game. I think that the Suns are going to look even better offensively versus this Rockets team. This Rockets team opened it up against the Lakers in the second part of that back-to-back against the Lakers. They opened up their offense, more flow to the game. I just feel like this, with matchup-wise, it's a better matchup for the Suns against this Rockets team than it was against the Pelicans. Ayton was out that night. Valanciunas was a complete wrecking ball. Christian Wood is not as physical in stature. Definitely keep an eye on whether Ayton plays or not in this game, but I think the Suns can get their team total in this game. I think the Suns can run it up.
Oh, Shark, we got someone in the chat. Josh Henry, if the Rockets get the win, we got to give some love to Josh Henry. I love when people come in here with the, you know what I'm saying, with the upset alerts, because when they catch, I'm like, damn, it's a damn good call. Shark, what you think, my guy?
This is tough. I mean, you look at the Rockets, they've covered 3 straight road games. They covered at Dallas by a hook, then they covered at the Lakers by a hook, then they almost beat the Lakers. Mm-hmm. So you trying to buy the Rockets here off a 3-0 ATS stretch and almost an outright win is really a difficult ask. I don't think this team has that kind of sustainability on the road ATS. And again, 2 were coin flips. They won 2 flips in a row. Theoretically, it should go the other direction. Speaking of coin flips, Friday mentioned it. The Suns did win a coin flip in their last game ATS. But they were due to get there. They had been 0-3 ATS at home prior to that. So this is where it becomes very difficult to cap. Both teams theoretically are on a very sharp line. Last year, the Houston Rockets were getting 14 points, so it's shortening up. I would lean the Suns to clean them up. I think what's less sustainable here is Houston continuing to travel on an ATS efficient point. But I'm not willing to lay it with the Suns right now because, as Friday mentioned, this does not mean they're going to necessarily continue to turn up here to cover spreads. They might not become an ATS juggernaut the whole season. I think what we saw last year was an outlier. I think a lot of things we saw last year were outliers with no fans, weird scheduling, injuries, sketchy injury reports. And I think we might have seen the best from the Suns last year. So I don't know if it's going to go back to that cover rate. Same thing with the Jazz. I think looking back 10 years from now, we might look at 2020 from an ATS standpoint as being the single most public outliers campaign in history. And going just on the final point on that, this game is a toss for me. There's just nothing here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Aiden's still questionable and campaign as well. They've been without their backup point guard that really runs their offense. Peyton isn't a bad third point guard on the road, but he's not necessarily that true type of point guard as far as like Payne is, just looking to get everyone involved. So that's why I think another reason why the Suns hadn't looked the same. And like my guy says, see what's up with Aiden there. If his leg was a little banged up, you may not rush him back to face the fucking Rockets, but they did have such a poor effort in that first half, got down 19 points to the Pelicans there. It was actually pretty crazy, man. We appreciate our guys in the chat. They appreciate the work that we do. My guy Jeff in there, I don't think it's Shark's brother. I never seen no one's name like that, Jeff, man. That's some unique shit right there. It really is. I appreciate you, my guy. I appreciate you. Who's that? Ace Boogie as well, man. My guys out there, they say they appreciate everything we do. I appreciate y'all, man, for sure.
But great stuff.
I don't want to add to what Shark said. The Suns, compared to the ridiculously high ATS standard that they set for last year, and hey, you can't. I don't care how much talent they have. They can't get too far behind in the West, right? They have the talent, but they're looking a bit like, they're discrediting the work that they put in for themselves last year. Really, honestly, with the effort that they're putting forth.
Yeah, for sure. This is a damn stay off. I don't bet. I'm not betting this shit, man. The Rockets been feisty, and I knew they would be like this with these double-digit spreads, whatever. I can't trust laying it with the Suns right now. It's definitely one you wait on. Hey, Jeff and Ace Bookie, hit me up, the email, man. I'm gonna send you guys some Smack City shirts. We still got shirts, man. Still got shirts. I just hadn't been trying to sell them like that, but I will. And I'm making some NBA Talk with Jay shirts. One more game, Thunder versus Lakers. Lakers may put it on them tonight, especially after losing OKC. That's the way I'll be looking here. Russell Wilson got his triple-double. They lost the game and were pretty much embarrassed. Now they're at the house, same opponent. I know Dort is questionable. He'll probably play. They want to play versus LA, but I'd be looking towards Smack City spot. Speaking of the shirts, Shark, what you think about this one, my guy?
This is a tough game to cap for me. Again, this kind of is like the Suns commentary, where again I think we really have to zoom out and realize how early on we are in the season for teams like this. Just because they didn't cover the game before, we said it last night with the Blazers. I said it doesn't mean they're going to auto bounce back. This is not April. They don't need these games. They don't need to show up. And even Friday on the comment with Phoenix, you are right. They need to assert themselves in the West, but they don't need to assert themselves ATS in the West. Key difference there. Lakers here on a big number, revenge game. Revenge game does stand for something. However, I think one interesting point here, the Thunder playing the back-to-back in LA, obviously historically going back last 5 seasons when the Clippers got their act together, this became an incredibly difficult back-to-back scenario for teams to cover or play basketball against the Clippers and Lakers back-to-back in Staples. However, I think one thing that's very interesting here, they've had an elongated layoff. They did play 3 days ago against the Clippers and covered. And now they've been hanging out in LA for a couple nights, which I think helps them. Because I don't think they have to bounce back their energy quickly. And if they went out, they could have recovered. And also, final point on this, I don't think the Oklahoma City Thunder are the type of guys that are going to go out carousing in LA. I think they're a young group, but cerebral guys, pretty disciplined guys, in my opinion. There's no Henry Ruggs on the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Come on, son. Come on, man. hey, one thing I can tell you, there ain't shit to do in OKC. Like, maybe a few things, but that's what I worry about. Like, you look at Oklahoma City, and then you look at LA, and it's like, oh shit, we partying now, baby. Big city, let's enjoy this shit while we here, man. But I was thinking about the Rugs. I wasn't gonna say it though, man. You crazy as hell for that. This guy here, man. Now I feel sorry for Cuz.
Hey, bro, just a small comment on that. That's incredibly tragic. We're not going that route.
And somebody lost their life, man. This shit
but at the same time, it is a Shark and Jay Money. We don't hold back. We want to bring some comedy, some entertainment. We want to bring some life to NBA commentary. So we want the sharpest angles and entertainment quality always. So Jay Money,
Friday,
my guy who knows a guy, I do, up in Canada, and ultimately, this is just a tough cap. I think it's sharp. I think it could go either way. I said it about the Rockets game last game. I can see the Lakers winning this game by 30 points, and I can see the Thunder winning this game outright, and anything in between. It's just tough.
My guy, what you thinking here? You think the Lakers smack City spot tonight, or you think the Thunder hang with them again, possibly win this game?
Bro, it's like watching these Lakers games. ATS is like, is every bottom tier team gonna cover against them every single time they play? No play for me in the Lakers game. I'm going to stand by my position of not betting with them during the first 20 games of the season, ATS, until they kind of figure out the rotation and just get things together. They're just trying to rack up the dubs. They obviously, as like Shark said, they don't care about the spread. No one essentially cares about the spread, but the 13-point spread, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's such a wild card right now with these point spreads. I do want to say, though, the Thunder, it's a similar dynamic as the Pistons, professional NBA team in 2021. You have a team total points total that's set at 100.5. That was unthinkable for any team last season. Like, that shows you how much the rules have changed already. Like, it's a light switch. Their team total is set at 100.5. You haven't seen that since like 2016. Before, I swear. But I find it hard to think that they go under. Like, are they no play for me in this game. I lean towards Thunder at the points and Thunder team total over, but this game, there are too many variables and it's a very random game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Don't know if they want it, right?
Yeah, it's been a damn good show, man. We've been rambling off. I mean, hey, we just here you talking, man. NBA talking lives, man, all type of stuff. And it was only 5 games in the car, so I didn't want it to be a quick 15, 30-minute show, man. We appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Like I said, I want to lean the Lakers there for the simple fact they got embarrassed. We know that Thunder are a doormat, and if you want to smack them up, you can. So it's just, but obviously we don't necessarily trust the Lakers in this point range. I know I don't. It's just a lean for them, especially the way they got embarrassed by them. No way in hell they should have lost their game. They probably will have LeBron and AD here tonight. Lean Lakers, no way in hell I'm betting them at this spread though. I like the Pistons, man. I'm going with the Pistons. I took them +6 in money line. I'll go official with +5. I don't give a damn who lives in Philly, who doesn't like it. These motherfuckers way too high. The Sixers, they're a good team. They're not the second best team in the East. Like slow down. See what I'm saying? So I think they get a little humbled tonight, and I think the Pistons really come to play here. That's the official play for me. I'll go Pistons +5. Heavy lean to Hawks +1.5 as well, my guys. Friday, what you got official plays today?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Jazz Hawks under 220.5 on the total. I do want to say, though, if you take a second, if you're on Twitter, guys, type in Rudy Gobert out and hit latest. Many people are confused right now. No, it might go viral. The people are confused, and something might actually change after this because he's actually a star player, and misinformation is something that there's so much money involved that like people are actually confused. These other services, ESPN, and these other apps have reported off of RotoWire. So hopefully, like Rudy Gobert plays. I'm gonna do a bit more digging into that, but right now I'm gonna say under.
Rudy Gobert not on the injury report. Not on the injury report at all. That's from RotoWire. The real deals. He's not on the injury report. Sharp. Break him off with your officials.
Full alignment with Jay here. Pistons +6. Double revenge game going back to a week ago and last season. You correlate back to what happened early season last year. I think this is very applicable. The Sixers did travel in a back-to-back home road scenario to Detroit, and they did not cover, and they lost a subsequent game there. 0-2 ATS at Detroit last year. Ultra fatigue spot for the body and the mind. Coming in here off of 3 large wins at home against the Hawks, Bulls, and Blazers. Ultimate letdown spot. I think the Pistons get here tonight. ATS on a +6. Second official, Hawks double revenge game against the Jazz. 2 blowouts last year. Line absolutely plummeting against 9.5 and 10s last year. It's telling you a story. Atlanta on 3rd and 4 situations used to be awful. They changed their coach. They changed their mentality. They've actually flipped the script in these environments in their last 4. They are 3-1 ATS. I think they get here tonight. Utah, so far in the campaign at 6-1, has backdoored a bunch of spreads and cleaned up bad teams mostly. I think what happened at Chicago in the opener of a back-to-back sequence in the East last week will correlate to this. Atlanta +1.5 official. J Money is Money. Thursday, November 4th, 2021. Thanks, guys, for listening. And to anybody who's offended by that joke, trust me, in real life, we are deep, soulful people. We love people. That was an awful tragedy. If anybody was offended by that, I apologize sincerely to you. We're just flowing on the air here. We try to make it as much of just an entertainment flow as possible. So I didn't want to be tone deaf on that. I apologize to anybody for that. But let's enjoy our life. J Money, close them out.
Let's cash these tickets, man. I just want to put up my guy. Says we can't take the Pistons. They stink. Well, not. He says you can't take this Pistons. They stink. I just want to let everyone know that we're not making anyone take these plays. We're not telling anyone to take these plays. We're simply letting you know how we're looking at these NBA games and what we're betting. If you choose to follow, hey, good luck to us. If you choose to fade, hey, good luck. I mean, I don't want to say good luck with that because I want to win. But regardless, guys, let's cash the Pistons today. That's my best play today. Heavy lean to the Hawks. I couldn't talk anyone out of the Heat, although I do have a funny feeling about that game, especially with Foster being riffing. Want to lean Lakers, but I can't lay 13 against anyone right now with the Lakers, in my opinion. Although I do think they will be motivated to keep their foot on the gas today. So the Pistonians, we head to Detroit. I gotta put a jacket on. It's cold as hell here, man. Like Detroit, I think we cash today, man. I appreciate y'all for coming on with me. My God knows a guy, Sharky Sports. Go follow him on Twitter right now. If you don't have a Twitter, go create one. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications. Check out my guy knows a guy show as well. If you're just looking for all the NBA shows, he has a show that comes on right before mine. It's at NBA Betting Today, man. Go and follow that page on Twitter as well. We out. Let's cash these tickets. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet this shit, man. We out. Let's cash.